Building via your headphones, stereo on speakers. Of course, you know who this is. This is your man's the African Caesar. And it seems like it's just gonna be me and Dave today. Hey, all right.
Wee.
No.
Forgot I had my mic muted. I mean, I know what a huge draw and benefit I am to you
Yes.
about sneaker discussions.
Yes, we have gotten many fan mail saying get rid of the crew in lieu of Dave. But no, it's gonna be today's gonna be an interesting show. Obviously, I want to get on some of these upcoming releases, talk about the sneakers app. For some strange reason, people wanted me to talk about. I kind of threw this on my IG live, just kind of seeing what people wanted me to talk about, and people mentioned female resellers, and I'm really struggling to see or to figure out the preference behind that.
Is that a controversial topic?
I didn't think. Honestly, I didn't know you could distinguish a female reseller from a male reseller because resellers are resellers. Is that
right?
Good? Do I have somebody here?
You do.
No way. All right, I'm not by myself. Hey, I didn't think you was coming. Anybody can anybody hear what you're saying right now? Take your mask off, Bang.
It was all Charlie Brown teacher. Wah,
Yeah,
wah, 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 wah.
No,
He came in with groceries.
I came from the other side of town, and I had to stop and get some stuff because I had to take some medicine.
If I was to ask you about, because I was on IG Live earlier today, and I was trying to figure out, well, I wasn't trying to figure out what topics to talk about. I just wanted to see if anybody had any topics they wanted us to discuss specifically. And a few people brought up female resellers. And I didn't know the preference behind that because I'm like, okay, like, what's the difference between a female reseller and a normal reseller? Like, I didn't know there was a difference between the two.
Is this like the old male versus female DJs?
I don't know. That's
Shit?
nobody.
Like, is that-
That's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, okay, like, is it? I'm like, because to me, a reseller was a reseller. Like, I didn't really.
Like if they have the shit that you want, it's like bitching about the sex of your drug dealer. Like if they have the shit that you want, who cares?
Are they more ruthless? Do they charge more? Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the distinction between a female reseller and a male reseller? And somebody was saying to me, I think somebody left a comment that like with the case with the ones that came out today, there are more women holding on those ones and reselling it to other women than there are dudes. And I'm like, oh, because I always assumed that when a woman's release comes out like today, and women can't get their hands on it, that it's mostly because dudes are trying to get the same shoe. But apparently, there are a lot of women who are basically treating it like any other release, that they're basically buying them up to flip. So I don't know. Since you are more in retail, like, what are you saying? Do you see a lot of female resellers coming in and buying stuff?
I really haven't. I mean, I'm not. The store I'm at currently doesn't get a lot of that, so I don't see it. Plus, I was working a few Saturdays, but now I'm not. I'm working a different day, so I don't really see it as much, especially since I transferred from the community store. But I don't really. I feel like it doesn't matter. My thing is, that's the only thing to me is like women taking more control of the releases that's intended for them.
And more power to them.
Yeah, so I don't have no problem with that. My thing is they tired of letting y'all get them, so they going to buy them themselves. But, I mean, I could understand on the flip side where there's some women who be buying the men's releases because they wear the men's sizes, you know what I'm saying? And they feel like, I'm going to say this, right? Back when I was working,
the views expressed.
no.
The views and opinions expressed by.
No, these are none of mine. This is just like what I've seen in the retail world. I've encountered where guys will be upset that the women who are coming in who chose to be, lesbian, who chose to dress like a dude, they would get mad at the other women for coming in and buying up the 32, the 34, the 36 jeans. So they would be mad because they wanted it for them. It's like, dog, their preference. This is not mine. This is the conversation, a dialogue between them in the store. It was like, man, these are meant for me. Plus, it's my size, and I'm losing my size or my chances for these jeans for someone who they weren't technically intended for. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think now everything in retail comes full circle, comes karma. So y'all was hogging up all them pink, white, and pink 12s from the ladies. Now that y'all on these ones crazy and the women's are keeping them and flipping them to other women, you can't really get mad because Jordan released that for other women.
Right.
And then two, they're starting to have more say. So now I feel like if it's a woman reseller, they're coming in and they're not knowing what they're doing and they're just hogging up shoes, overcharging people. Which I mean, is it really honor amongst thieves when you think about the reseller side? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some are cool. Other ones, they try to squeeze every dollar they can, but that's like the black market. So to each his own. But that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I don't have no problem with it. It's like, what is it? If you don't like a price, go to somebody else. And that's why I never really.
Thought that was the common sense.
Or go online and order the shoe and wait a couple more days or a week and a half to get it for the price you want.
Case in point, those graffiti LeBron 17s. Because
Which ones?
all of them. I was almost about to pull the trigger, going on Goat or wherever but then I was able, just kind of skimming through the sneakers app, I was just kind of go on there and I saw that they had a size 15 available again, got the blue ones. And then literally the day that I got my blue ones, I just thought to go back on there to see if the red ones were available, and sure as shit they were. The white ones were available too, but by the time, I got on there, putting information and all this other shit, it was gone. So
it was one at the Nike store, but it was a 16 though.
Yeah, I need that 15.
Yeah, but no white, black, and red. Well, so yeah, I mean, it's like I said. I was just telling somebody else this. Like the key to this game is patience. Like I was looking for that white and red LeBron 3 All-Star for almost 4 or 5 years, and I came across 1 or 2 pairs. It was too high. Ended up getting for a price I want. The game is patience. Like if you really truly in this, you would do it. You will wait. I can't.
I'm not even sorry.
No, Guru, you were perfect. No, I purposely had my back to this window,
and now they're lining up outside this window.
There was an old story about the seal goes to a cliff. He has one good eye, and he has his bad eye faced out towards the ocean so that he can see the predators coming from land, and then somebody in the boat ends up shooting him.
Right.
And that's what I feel like right now. I have my one bad eye on this window just to have this going out this window. I'm telling you, studios with windows are the worst. I'm just gonna put that out there. Just everywhere. It's so many distractions. Like there was this girls taking pictures right outside the studio on purpose. So I feel like they did it on purpose. I almost want to just go out there and just shake my fist at them.
You damn kids!
Right, distracting me with your bodies. Anyway, well, in case you didn't know what you're listening to, this is the Sneaker Boss Podcast, Sneaker Bar Detroit, a part of the Podcast Detroit family. Make sure to follow us on social media. You can follow us at Twitter at TSB_radio. You can follow us on Instagram at @TheSneakerBox_radio. And you can follow us on Facebook by looking at the Sneaker Box Radio Show page. And make sure to call into our show. You know what? Let's talk about this. How about just leave us a voicemail? Because that way, you can get your thoughts out. Cause I know, sometimes the window of time, 7 and 9 or whatever the time zone you live in, it can be a little difficult to reach us too. So it'd probably be better if you just leave us a voicemail on a voicemail line, whether you have a sneaker related topic or you want to discuss or you want to respond to something that we said on the show. Leave us a message by dialing 248-677-1803. We'll pick out the best messages and address them on a future episode. And we actually have a few messages that I want to get to. I wanted to get to them last week, but we ended up talking about upcoming releases, and I just got distracted. And let me find them. All right. So this one is way back. This is like before the quarantine, I think. But let's see what he had to say. All right. Hold on. This ain't it. All right.
Question, because I know you guys been talking about the shoes that we need for the past maybe 2-3 episodes. Don't you guys think we need, or we're overdue for the Oreo 6s this week? Because we done got the Carmine twice already. I know I'm saying the second time would be the 2021. Don't you think we need the Oreo 6s with the Nike on the back? And I don't know if you guys remember the retro 13s, the University blue ones, it was white with the gray suede. And for Caesar, I know you always talk about the questions. And don't you think we overdo, or don't we need the Denver Nugget questions? And also, because I know the last episode you guys were talking about the UNC threes. Why are those always so limited? I mean, remember the ones were super limited, and now these threes are limited. And it got kind of hectic because when I went and got my pair at 12 Oaks Mall, I saw some white on white cars, two white guys fighting over those threes. And so why do any UNC colorway always limited? And again, man, I appreciate the show. The show really gets me through my work day too, man. So I appreciate all y'all. Have a good one.
Well, thank you. All right, so shoes that we need. I think we talk about this all the time. Like, I'm going to just beat on this whole penny 3 horse until it's no more. I need penny 3s, like, in the worst way. I need y'all to make better colorways of the foam posits, but that's another story. That's another shoe that I'm dying to have right now. Oh, the penny 2s. Can we get those? I mean, not the penny 2s, the Pippin 2s. Sorry. We got the penny 2s. I'll need the Pippin 2s. Some horses out there.
The Pippin 2s for sure.
I need the Pippin 2s, man. I need the Pippin 2s. I need the penny 3s. I'm pretty sure there's some other shoes that I'm not thinking about right now. I don't know if there's any colorways of, like, any Air Max that I want re-retroed or anything, but there's a lot of shoes that I think we could get. You know, it is kind of annoying when, you know, you feel like the community collectively has been asking for said shoes, and then, like, Nike will come out with the penny 5s. It's like, find me the person that was asking for those. Nobody wanted those. Nobody wanted them when they first came out. They for sure didn't want them when they came back out again. However, I do like that Orlando colorway.
I feel like they could just do. They don't really need to tell us because we know what they see, and they know they can just go into a particular place and just look around, and so they don't necessarily really need us to tell them. I mean, they may depends on how much of them are really invested.
You talking about a brand?
Yes, but I mean, like Air Bacons, the original colorway. Then the white, no, of course, the black and red with the yellow laces, but also that Minnesota colorway that was black and blue with the silver laces. Bring those back out. Bring the Tim Hardaway T-Bugs back out. Bring the Alonzo Mournings come out. He had like 2 or 3 shoes with Nike. Bring Alonzo Mourning shoes out. Like, bring the Flight Turbulence out. Bring the Flight Turbulences out. I'm been looking for a pair for 2 years that Damon Stoudemire had wore when he was in Toronto with his jersey, the white, black, and red one. Like, there's stuff you can bring out. You can bring out which other shoe was that? The Zoom Go LWPs. You can bring those back out. Like, you brought them out, a handful of them in like 2014, 15, something like that.
You know what else they could bring out? They could bring back the Converse weapons. I think that would be dope.
Bring back the ones that the United States Post Office Service stole from me when I got ordered. Them Dennis Rodman's Weapon 91s. Like, man.
That's more of a personal issue. But no, I think there are a lot of shoes I think we could all agree that they could come back out with. I just think that
that's a community issue. Delivery people stealing shoes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But no, I wish, and these brands do pay attention. Like, they know why they pick and choose the shoes they do. Some of it's arbitrary because you got people that, I mean, you would think. Even at Nike, you would think everybody there are sneakerheads and are on top of things, and they're not. It's a lot of non-sneaker people making sneaker decisions, and I think that might be one of the most frustrating things for people like us, because it's like, you know, actually talking to a brand or, you know, seeing what they have, you know, at an HQ, and then knowing what they come out with, and it's like, okay. Like, Reebok does a horrible job of telling their own story, because right now it's apparent that they're just going to beat up on the Reebok questions. Like, we got a James Harden question. Why?
It wasn't that bad in person. I looked at it. I might buy it.
No, it's not a bad shoe. It's just why. That's the question I ask myself.
I mean, that's because I think he wore. What did he wear? I think because I have to go back and look. No. So what happened was when Kobe passed, he wore the Kobe question that Kobe had wore that 2 years of sneaker free agency. And since Reebok is under Adidas, which he is signed to, that's why he wore it. And I feel like after him wearing that shoe, And they got a little sneaker buzz, but I feel like they followed that up.
So because he wore a Kobe version of the Reebok question, they said let's give him his own.
I mean, as far as between Adidas and Reebok, that is their biggest signature athlete. As far as currently,
Yeah, I know. That's my point, though. It just seems like they just that to me just shows a lack of ideas.
I mean, they did the LeBron, and he nowhere near them.
What, the LeBron question? Because he actually wore it in high school, and that's what it was based on. Like, he actually wore that particular question. They actually made him his own PE.
But I'm saying, they could have risked of getting sued just to make that shoe.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
because
yeah.
Iverson did it with the Flight 96. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I mean, they risked getting sued to put that shoe out. So, I mean, that lets you know.
I'm surprised that I don't know if Nike was just like, eh.
I
Like,
think it wasn't
if
big
Nike
of a deal.
just felt so bad for Reebok, it just was like, that would just be overkill. Us suing them would just be overkill. Let's throw them a bone. That's what it honestly feels like. But
I think if, like, with Iverson in that situation, if LeBron pressed the issue, I think they would have did it.
you think so?
I think LeBron. This is hypothetical because I have no exact. I think that
You are on the clutch
no.
for it. So.
I wish this would be on the uninterrupted. But they offered him $10 million when he was in high school, not to have a night meeting with Nike. So I think, oh man, you guys did offer me a $10 million check.
And then Nike came with 90.
But he used that with leverage with Nike. So
I
I
know,
mean,
I'm just saying.
So he's like, I ain't gonna trip on y'all because y'all did give me the leverage and piece I needed against Nike.
I
Under
mean,
Armour did the same thing with Kevin Durant when they used it against Nike. So
I ain't mad at LeBron because I feel like most people, you put a $10 million check in front of them, they're jumping.
and 18 years old, and you go back
Right.
to school the next day.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, so shout out to LeBron on that one because, to have the patience to wait for that $90 million check or to wait for that offer, it takes a lot. Like, especially like you said, somebody in high school, you coming from Akron, Ohio, which isn't the most, affluent area in the country. Yeah. So shout out to him. But he mentioned the Denver Reebok questions. I would normally say yes. I just, once again, I can already see Reebok just beating the hell out of Reebok questions. So I'm just kind of
There's a lot of Reeboks that release, like from 02 to 07 that went right underneath the radio. I think Dre State of Mind, I think he's the one with a whole bunch of Reebok questions on Instagram.
Yeah.
He has a lot of those. I'm like, dang, those came out. The black Denver Nuggets colorway with the gold stitching. Like, there's a lot of the shoes. I'm like, dang, those came out that just went underneath the radar.
Yeah, the all white ones. I remember I had those in high school with the ice blue. Also, I had those in high school. Those were released, and I don't know. Like, I just wasn't that pressed to get them. Like, I remember loving those in high school, and then now I'm just kind of like, yeah. And that's what then
They could release some of them McDonald's All American questions, like the ones that the LeBron his class wore.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, this is what happens, right? At least for me, I can't speak for nobody else, but if the brands are listening, which they are, this is what happens when you just beat up on one shoe, like the Air Jordan 1, like what Reebok is doing now with Reebok questions. When you just release the same pair over and over and over in different colorways, it makes me stop caring. I no longer care about that shoe because I see it so much that it just becomes white noise at this point, or it just fades into the background. And a little diversity, it goes a long way.
But here's you gotta look at the flip side though. We used to be the majority, now we're the minority.
Yeah.
So those
In
people,
more ways than one.
they always, even though they run to the ground, people are steady buying it.
I know.
So it's like, from a business standpoint, it's like, yeah, but they're not gonna stop until it's not making money anymore, until it loses steam. So, I mean,
just feels like-
I'm looking at that Saturn 1 from women's. I'm like, they literally played musical chairs with white, black, and red on the Jordan 1 for numerous times, and then did it on the Jordan 1 mid, then did it on the Jordan 1 low. Like, it's still like people. It's just that's how the game is now, man.
Yeah. No,
I feel like Jay when he put out Death of the Auto Tune, like I know how he feels when you take the overuse of the auto tune with the hype and the overbuying of the Jordan 1s and everything. Like I know how he felt when he's like, "No, I'm tired of this. Somebody has to put a stop."
That's
to
probably
this.
the best analogy.
He's like,
Jordan 1s have become the auto tune. If people remember, what was that, like 08, 06, 08?
That was 07 to 2009.
Yeah, the auto-tune was on everything, and it was like, all right, there's other instruments of music at your disposal. You don't just have to use that one thing. But with these brands, I guess it's just hot right now. Like everybody sees something that's hot, it sees that it's trending, and everybody's thought is just to pile on. And I don't know, it gets boring to me after a while. Like it's like remixing the same song over and over again. Like I love Thriller, but if I had to hear 35 different versions of Thriller, at a certain point, I'm not gonna like Thriller as much as I used to.
I don't know, because they remixed Ronald Isley songs a couple of times.
Who?
They sampled a lot of Ronald Isley songs, rap
But
songs.
no, you said different songs though. They're not sampling the same song.
They did sample this. What's that? The one Jay-Z night for Ignorant.
I don't remember.
I forgot. But they sampled that one like 2 or 3 times.
Okay, 2-3 times. Like
that's a lot in rap.
no, it is.
So
It is.
so that's a lot in rap.
But I'm just saying. Anyway, I sound like old man shaking his fist at the sky, so I'll move on to another subject. I got another caller. Let's get to him or her. Put you on speaker. All right.
Yo, Africa Caesar, this is T. I have a question about the 2020 releases. I have a couple questions for you. Are we supposed to get the military 4s and the Retro 1 fragment and the OG Black Metallic Retro 5? I'll be waiting for your answer. Hope everybody's safe. Thanks.
Is that it? Okay. I ain't heard nothing about no fragments. Unless he's talking about the ones that came out earlier with I guess you could, like, people calling them the reverse fragments or, poor man's fragments or whatever. What other shit did he mention? Like, that was like a short message and I already forgot. The military force. Were those supposed to come out?
Yeah, they were supposed to, but
Maybe they got pushed back.
Pushed out.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be crazy, because shoes have been pushed back earlier in the year as far as, like, releases. And so now it's going to be more condensed as far as releases. Like, you look at this next couple of weeks, you got the 5s, you got the adapts, you have the 1s. You got 2 colorways of the 1s, I think. It's just so many shit. You got some Air Maxes that are supposed to be dropping with the pony hair or whatever. The purple joints and the black joints.
You're going to love them to go along with them 7s. Them KD 7s.
I might have to get them black joints. I don't know. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting as we get closer and closer to the crunch time of the year, which is the holiday season. It'd be interesting to see how the brands release their shoes. I don't know. And I do feel, because I know last week when we were talking about the upcoming releases, I do feel bad for like the smaller brands, like the Asics and the Sauconys and the New Balances where they got shoes coming out, because I feel like they already have an uphill battle on a normal day because everybody's going after the more hype releases. So as we get towards crunch time and those releases become more condensed and, the availability is or isn't limited, I feel like they're going to get pushed more and more to the back burner, which might work out for people like, me and you who actually love sneakers and not just Jordans and Yeezys. So it might be advantageous for us. However, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's gonna be. I can't call it. Like, this is like the first time in a long time I feel like I cannot call how things are gonna play out. I just know that I wouldn't be surprised that it gets crazy before it settles down.
I would say people don't know, if you go on like Asics and Adidas and Reebok has their own account on eBay. So it's like the little, I don't say like an outlet store or whatever. So I went on there and got some Asics for $28, some Gel Diablos. There's some other Gel Kanyos and other models that you can get for really good prices. Because I like to look for deals along with shopping for sneakers. Some of the stuff I have to pay retail for, but like, ugh. But other than that, I look for deals.
I feel like, I don't know if I'm just not paying attention to it, but I feel like Foot Locker, like .com, is selling a lot more of those Asics and New Balance releases that you will find at a boutique.
They're getting more, but they're definitely sitting in the stores.
Really?
They went on sale for.
Well, that's my point though.
the
Like,
runners-
people
the
are going
runner-
after the.
The runners went on sale for like the ones Gene had talked about in that picture.
Yeah.
Those went on sale for like 75. One time they were down to like 59, 49.
But that's what I'm talking about. People are going after all these high profile releases,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're missing out on some of these other brands. And there is other brands out there outside of Jordan brand, Nike and Adidas. Just so y'all know, like Under Armour. Oh man, I'm sorry, Under Armour. It was too easy. It was right there. All right.
Hey guys, this is Aaron out in Iowa. My question is, with the pandemic going on and people losing their jobs and not knowing what's going to be happening next, do you see the sneaker resale game slowing down due to demand, or do you see it increasing? The reason why I ask is because on StockX, I went on there to look at some shoes that I was interested in, and they seemed to be skyrocketing, whereas a couple months ago they were pretty cheap. What is your guys' take on that? And my other question is, with this pandemic going on, do you see any of the Jordan holiday releases, whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas, being affected? Meaning, do you think there are going to be more pairs available, or do you think they're going to try to make it less, available, more limited? Just wondering your guys' thoughts. Thanks. Bye.
All right, so I guess we just got to talk about the holiday releases. So, as far as availability, whatever is made, because they already made the pairs already. So, it's not like they're going to scale it back, or it's too late to make more. And I don't think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot by scaling it back as far as production numbers, or at least what they sell initially, because they all need the money. They're all hurting from, well, not all of them are hurting, but, a lot of, I think we talked about this last week, even if they didn't necessarily lose money, they lost projected revenue, which is the same thing to these companies. So, I don't see them scaling back on a particular shoe, and they can, like, if they made 150,000 pairs, they're not going to all of a sudden say, okay, we're only going to release 75,000 of these. No, they're going to sell all 150,000, because if they were confident before to make that many pairs, they're still confident in those pairs selling now. The other question, as far as the resale prices going up, honestly, I can't even tell you, and I think that's the head scratcher I have right now, because it seems like everything is going up, and I really don't know why. Because even some of the more general releases have gone up, and it does seem like the prices are fluctuating more so than they used to. Because it feel like, a shoe will sell for $240, and then one person might, get that same shoe off for $400 because they caught somebody slipping and, they didn't know any better. And so then everybody sees that, and then all of a sudden the price goes up because not everybody and their mother wants to make that same $400 that they saw that one person make. So, I don't know. I just feel like this resale market right now is just volatile. So I can't put my finger on it whatsoever.
I feel like Nike's, they don't really take a loss, because they'll take a loss maybe from their side. It's not even taking a loss. Because it'll go like this. Foot Locker and everybody else, they buy those shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. So if the shoe don't sell, they already got their money for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Foot Locker and Foot Action and Snipes and whoever else lowering the price to get that shoe sold so they can buy the next batch from Nike.
Right.
So Nike still gets their shoes off. Now, coming to them from directly, they might say, oh, this shoe sat, so we're going to mark it down. But even with the markdown, they made more shoe off their website
Yep.
than
When they
Foot
did
Locker,
wholesale.
because Foot Locker, they sold it half.
Yep.
As opposed to, okay, if this Retro 6 denim retail for $190 and we had to sell it for $140, $130 for it to go, we still made $130 off that shoe, as opposed to when we sold the Foot Locker with it split in half for $95. So
That's why I always laugh at people when they say it went to the outlet. I'm like, in Nike eyes, they're like, yo, we still winning. Like whether we sold it to you for $200 or we sold it, at the outlet for $160, that's still a come up for us.
even as far as their retail sale, but when they make so many pairs, they probably in bulk may cost them let's say $45, $50 to make that shoe. So even when it goes to outlet, they still made a $50 profit off that particular.
That's my right.
So I mean, yeah, it goes to outlet, but they also made the money on the retail side too.
Yep. So, but no, as far as like the resale price, like
Resale prices have gotten out of hand. It's like
dog.
everything has its season in the sneaker game. So when Air Force Ones go high, you go look somewhere else. I've learned I like sneakers enough. Like Jordans are, I have Jordans that need re-glues, or I'm like, okay, these are beat. And when I went to go look for some more to replace those, the price was extremely high. Thanks to Last Dance documentary, that hype drove up. And I was talking to this, shout out to my dude, hey, good look 87. We was talking about this. It's like the Jordan 13s, the Cherry 13s, they were like 180 before that documentary. Now they're going for 350. Last Shot 14s, which is a quiet Jordan for most of us. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It's like a handful of us really truly like that shoe. And now it's going for 400. And like this girl told me at
They
work,
were sitting on StockX from under retail
yeah,
for a while.
when this girl told me at work, like, hey, of course, when you know they in your shoes, they come in with your shoe information at work. They're like, yeah, I just got the Last Shot 14s. Oh, okay, where you getting from, Go? She's like, yeah. I was like, how much you pay? She was like, $350, and I'm like, for a grade school,
Bruh.
I'm looking like it's. I'm happy I know better. I'm just happy that I know better because it's just like, and that's what the game coming. When you come in the game and you don't know when you overpaying and when you not. So
Yep.
that's why I'm looking like that's extremely fucked. I'm looking like this is a high, like the Chicago ones. Oh my goodness, his feet was bleeding, so I want to give me a period at $1,200. Like he told you the shoe was uncomfortable. He told you the shoe was uncomfortable, and y'all want to go buy it. Like,
Not just buy it though, spend like a whole $1,000 on it.
I'm looking like that's astronomical. That's ridiculous.
I'm still laughing at Jordan Brand, how they finessed everybody. Because remember when they first came out, it was the Jordan Brand version of the Chicago. And then like 2 years later, they dropped the OG version. And then like, I still feel like they're finessing everybody because I do feel like they're eventually going to come out. Because, you know, you get the 85 cut, which they could have just did that from the beginning, you know. But they're going to milk the Air Jordan 1 until there's no more milk to be had.
I want the team. I'm probably gonna end up buying it in the next couple weeks. That Team Jordan 1, the black with the white on the inside of the toe.
Yes.
That went on sale.
That was a quiet release.
Yeah, that went on sale for $119. It only been on for 3 weeks.
Watch.
Which is
They're
cool.
going to be on StockX for like $500.
And then what I do want is the all white with the black toe on the inside. Like I probably like I see shoes. I'm like I need that to come down a little lower. My coworker's like that's on sale. I said lower. Like Lord Farquaad, lower, lower. Like that's what I kind of need. Like I need a bam, and that's where I'll kind of see shoes at.
All right, we got one more. Here we go.
Hey, my name is at Carsley. I'm calling from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I was just wondering, what do you guys think the future of Yeezy is going to look like? Like, do you think that Kanye is going downhill with his releases? And, like, with the Zion's 290,000 pairs worldwide, do you think he's just going to mass produce them and continue to sell out every time? Or do you think that he's going to try and go in for more limited releases in the future with worse and worse colorways or better colorways? So, thank you.
I feel like that he's not going to go nowhere. And I say that because this is the same man who tried to sabotage his own career numerous times and it failed. He actually got bigger afterwards. So, I mean, excuse me. So, I look at it like it's not, even when he make more pairs, I mean, everybody going to get them because the resellers going to have their hand and foot in them. So, even if they mass produce, the resellers is like, well, I can't get 100 this shoe no more. But if I can get 30 pair and sell them for 20, 25 above retail, and I can nickel and dime my way to the profit that I once had when it was only 50,000 pairs. So I think it's not going nowhere. People like the shoe. It's comfortable. He didn't say Sojourner Truth didn't actually help the slaves. Slavery was a choice. All this buffoonery. And his sales didn't drop like one bit. I watched it at work like, y'all still line up for this? Like, and it hasn't dropped now one bit.
I'm going to disagree. I do think, you know, I do think with them attempted to make more pairs. Well, they kind of scaled back, which is funny because I remember that first wave when they made more pairs, and they immediately started scaling back. And now he says they dropped 200,000 pairs of these Zions. I do think at a certain point you do begin to turn people off. I hate to go political because I really don't want to go there, but I feel like there were a lot more vocal Trump support. Like Trump still got his supporters who will still be vocal, but I think a large amount of people have been turned off since then because you can only talk stupid for so long. You can only justify only so much dumbassery. There go Dave.
I gotta ask, did you see the Axios interview?
That was such an embarrassment. That's why I always laugh at people when they talk about, well, Joe Biden got a whole bunch of gaffes. I'm like, I'll agree. Joe Biden talks out his ass sometimes. But as a Trump supporter, how do you talk shit about Joe Biden?
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, my man was talking about the Revolutionary War and talking about airports.
I mean, how do you... and apparently Yosemite is now Yosemite.
Yosemite.
And then today, the one that broke was it's not Thailand, it's Thailand.
Bruh. What did he say? He said, like, we test too much. And he said, like, what are you talking about? He was like, read the manuals, read the books. Like,
yeah. Well, what manuals? What books?
Right, what are you talking
about? Dude, that was a master class in I don't give a fuck if you ever invite me back here again.
Yeah.
From that interviewer. Like, Axios has always been obviously, like, really careful about their access and that kind of stuff. And that was clearly just
Because he put you in that position.
Like, we don't care anymore.
Because, I mean, dude, what Trump does, he tries, and you see it from the interview, he tries to talk over you and gives you basically a whole bunch of word salad.
Mm-hmm.
Where he says a bunch of words that don't actually amount to anything.
Right.
And what I've noticed is that his supporters love the style in which he says nothing. He says, that's what they love. They love the style. Like, y'all get caught up in performance. Like, it's almost like...
I believe the best way that I've heard it described is he is eloquently illiterate.
Yes. But it's not even eloquent. Because I tell people all the time, like, don't even listen to the speeches. Read the transcripts. And when you read the transcripts, you realize how dumb he sounds. Even more so than listening to him. But the reason I bring up Trump is, like, Kanye, you can only say so much dumb shit before people be like... Because even in this last... the video where he talks about Sojourner Truth, as soon as he said it, you can hear somebody in the crowd, all right, we out. They didn't even want to stick around for the rest of the foolishness. They were just like, we out, man. We not about to... Like, dude, like, you running for president. First of all, you running for president. Like, why is that a hill you want to die on? Running for president.
Honestly, I think the beauty of Trump's reelection campaign...
No, I was talking about Kanye.
Oh, I was sorry. Like, because if you listen to Trump stuff, he's basically saying he's going to bring a stop to everything that's been going on for the last 4 years. And I'm like, so you're campaigning against yourself?
Basically.
Because everything that happened in the last 4 years is
my favorite one
while you were in office.
Is when he shows videos of protests that are happening now, talking about this is going to happen with Joe Biden. It's like, it's happening now, you
but
idiot.
it's happening now. With
like under your
this is now. Yeah.
Oh, man. What was I going to say, though? But with Kanye...
Yeah, honestly, I'll be honest with you. I desperately try to avoid discussing Kanye just because, like, I'm halfway convinced there's, like, a mental illness issue there.
Yeah.
And that's...
But see,
he has no friends. He has no real close friends. That's what I was going to say.
And that's the harm of being a yes man, because you send them down a road of destruction by just agreeing to every, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you really care about somebody, sometimes you have to tell them no, right? Like, I love my daughter. I can't say yes to everything that she wants,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because I lead her down a road where she feels like she can get away with everything, and some of those things, if you continue to indulge in them, are harmful. So, and being a celebrity, I mean, how many times we have to see celebrities self-destruct?
Yep.
Before we say, okay, you know what? Like, being a fan doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that person says or does.
Oh, for sure.
You don't have to like all their music.
And that person doesn't owe you shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And so watching, it's unfortunate with Kanye. Like, I used to like Kanye. Kanye seemed more hinged, his mother, it does seem like things kind of started progressing once his mother died, because maybe that was his center of gravity.
I blame the Kardashians.
Oh, okay.
I mean, look, they
because everything they do.
look what they did to Bruce Jenner.
Everything. I always thought that was funny too, because I'm the one person who has a real accomplishment in that family. You know, they used to shit on all the time. But going back to Kanye and the Yeezys, I think, yeah, he so far he's been able to get away with saying and doing things, and it really hasn't impacted him just yet. But everything has a shelf life, and everybody has a tolerance level. And I think there is a point where you can rub enough people the wrong way to where it begins to affect you and your business.
But when we think about the sneaker community, bro, how many times people inside the community have done things that was not favorable for a long, like off-white prices, still people support. After the Black Lives Matter slap in the face, after you saw his design team where there's no diversity, like you've seen things, you've seen Adidas and their issues, people still come to the store and black people still come to the store and buy black top 10s and Adidas. Like, it's so hard. Even with us, we guilty of it. Nike knowing their inside dirt, we still go buy our shoes, we still buy our LeBrons and pennies and whatever else. So it's just like, with his following so core, and even if his support has gotten to a point, I had argued with my friends a year ago, that before it was the black people, now it was 50-50, now it's more Caucasians coordinated. So even at a point with the black people to fall back from him, the Caucasian fan base will still keep him.
But the one thing I would say to you about that is, I'd agree with you that everybody has their moments of being fallible. Right, Virgil, Nike, all these brands, right? But once again, Kanye seems to go out his way sometimes, and it's like, bruh, like, and this goes back to, you know, you don't have friends. Like, why would you come out and say such a truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you, like, dog, like,
But
like that's the
Like,
thing.
yeah, how do you not have a friend that's good enough just to like walk up on stage, grab you, and be like, you know what, guys, this is our fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We'll
or
be
did
back
he not
tomorrow.
go over his speech before he went
Yeah.
up there publicly?
But I feel like when you are
I just feel like there are
on
certain
his
things.
staff and you're trying to like, do I put the moral compass before the opportunity or my job or that I'm on payroll?
I just, you know what it
think
is?
that's what
I just don't want to see him Terry Crews himself.
But Terry Crews trying to come back around. He's I guess he forgot. He looked at his skin the other day and was all, I am. Right?
I will say this. In America,
I'm serious. He said he's apologizing. He been apologizing to Gabrielle Union. He want his black card back. Yeah, man.
Has he really?
He's like, I apologize 9 times. I apologize 10, Gabrielle Union. But it's just like,
One of my friends posted the most beautiful meme I've ever seen in my life. It was a picture of Terry Crews, and it said somebody called Terry Crews Jim, Gym, Crow, and I can't stop laughing.
Wow. Here's my thing about Terry Crews, or just in general. America has a way of reminding you black. Like O.J. Simpson, the story of O.J. I mean, literally the song is made about him where, you know, you have some people where they reach a certain level of life and they feel like, okay, their blackness no longer weighs them down. They've transcended race. And then they get that very quick reminder, nah, you still black. Like,
but
bruh.
here's my thing, though. Except when you have a product to sell. And if they like your product good enough, they will look beyond
Kelly.
we was,
I'm sorry.
We have
Was
seen
that out loud?
that. If they
Well, see,
like your
that
product good
that was a
enough,
prolonged
they will
one, but-
overlook at it.
Huh?
They will overlook. If your product is good enough, they will overlook it.
Like who? I mean, he said R. Kelly, but
I mean,
But he
his
eventually
music,
got caught.
I mean, but people still rock to his music. I hear women. I'm like, I saw this girl at work. Like, yeah, I got to put R. Kelly when I get home. I'm like, didn't you see that?
but he's still in jail though.
But here's my thing. I'm talking about.
What's the worst thing that's happened?
Here's my thing.
Spotify said they're not going to promote him. Spotify isn't pulling R. Kelly shit. They just said they're not going to push and promote.
They'll still make money off of R. Kelly.
that's what I'm saying. That's what we talking about.
No,
the
no,
money.
but I'm
Because you
talking
still
about
got a product.
But my point is more directly to the person. Like R. Kelly is not feeling the effects of that because right now he's in jail. You know what I'm saying? He's not benefiting from that right now.
I mean, he's not benefiting from it because he don't own his music.
Like even OJ, he was pushing products. I mean, it hurts. And
I mean,
shit.
he was endorsing,
but
but he wasn't like have a product like.
Okay,
this.
yeah, he didn't have a product. But my point, and there's always gonna be people that still like the Bronco. Like how many people are gonna buy Broncos
But he also
just because of OJ?
he also burnt his bridge with the black folks before he reached that level of success.
That's my point. That's
but
my.
Kanye burnt it after the.
I mean, like I don't think the point of which you burnt the bridge matters. I mean, the bridge is burnt. I just think sometimes you get that healthy reminder. Nah, you still black. I mean, like a situation is going to come up.
Tiger Woods. I would say Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods the same thing.
But he still makes money. He's still doing okay.
Yeah, because people are always like, if there's money to be made, look, the biggest color that means the most out of anything, white, black, or otherwise, is always going to be green.
Mm-hmm.
Green is always going to be the color that stands up above everything. However, that don't mean that you, the person, is going to benefit from it. Because right now, you look at Tiger Woods. Yeah, he's still benefiting, but is he benefiting like he used to? No.
His fame and his success hasn't, but his money is still
He ain't moving the same way.
His money's still there, but he hasn't. He
wasn't gonna go broke. Like nobody.
I mean, no, he still even the broke, but he still makes a nice amount of
I'm
money.
I'm just saying that there is an impact. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the impact is gonna like take you out for good.
But Kanye's done it before though. He's done it so many times when we were cool with him.
But,
and he was rubbing
see, that's my
and
point though. You making my point for me. He's done it. You're right. He's done it and he's gotten away with it. My whole thing is there comes a point where you no longer get away with it.
I don't know
is there?
Before Trump,
I'm just saying.
Because Trump has done things before he got in the office, and even after he got in the office, and people still find a way to support him. And not just a little bit of people, a nice group of people to a point where
But some of those,
like
but
those.
that's why I made the example earlier, because some of those supporters, some of the people that were on the fringes are like, well, I don't know, buddy, like you looking kind of suspect right now. So yeah, Trump is always going to have supporters. Kanye's always going to have supporters.
There is not a person that I know who voted for Trump in 2016 that has said that hasn't said they will not do so in 2020. There just isn't.
I've actually heard people say that. I've heard people change their tune.
I've heard people that I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. It's people that voted for him in 2016 are saying there's no way in hell I'm voting for him in 2020.
Right.
But it's funny because like the people that I've seen supporting him are people that I didn't know supported him in 2016. But this gets into my whole thing where like I've said it a bajillion times on all over the place. The Democrats lost that election because they forgot their base that they don't like to talk about, which is the blue collar, working class, middle America, because they wanted to appeal to the intellectual elite New England lockjaw liberal.
And they forced the Hillary Clinton
and they screwed it up.
Yeah.
Whereas the Republicans won that election because they appealed to their base that they don't
which was low-hanging fruit.
That they don't like to talk about.
I mean, you
the redneck, racist, whistleblow, that like they don't talk. They know they're there, but they don't talk about them. But they appealed to them.
That's why they push so hard on immigration and shit like that. Yes. No, I agree with you. And I guess my point is that when I say impact, I'm not saying you're going to lose all your followers because you're still going to have followers, right? You're still going to have supporters. What I'm saying is that even like, because I always feel like you got your diehards, you got the middle of the pack, and then you got people that just don't like you, right? The people that don't like you are always going to not like you. That middle of the pack, though, the people who are like,
which to me is bigger than people realize.
Exactly.
Like, so I've always said you've basically got 5 to 10% on either extreme. Mm-hmm. And the problem is those are the loudest motherfucker on the planet.
The loud minority.
Because it's that 80 to 90% in the middle that just kind of sits there going, would you shut up?
That's my point. Like, you got people like, yo, Kanye, just make music. Like, quit talking. Just make music. Or Kanye, make the shoes. Quit talking.
Dude, Trump. If Trump would have just been the consummate sales guy that he was known to be and shut the hell up and stayed the hell off Twitter, and he'd have probably been okay.
And that's the thing with Kanye.
But he couldn't help himself because of the ego, and I think that's what gets people.
Yeah,
is you get to that certain and this is that downside, and this is where I think Kanye fell into that trap too. When you are surrounded by yes men and you are surrounded by all that, you never even stop to think that there will be repercussions, or there will be.
You've gotten away with it for so long,
or that there will be repercussions that will ever impact you.
That's what I'm saying,
dude. The man said, and here's the best part, and I've said, dude, go back and look at like the debates and his press conferences before the 2016 election. Mm-hmm. You can literally see the look on Trump's face that says, "I don't want to be here. I don't belong here. So I'm going to say the most outlandish shit I possibly can so they kick me the hell out of here." And then he says shit like, I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody in the face and get away with it. And then the next press conference, he's like, well, shit, if that didn't get me kicked out,
You know what it reminds me of?
What's the next thing I can say that's even more outlandish than that shit?
You know what it reminds me of? I was just watching Forrest Gump the other day, and you know that scene where he goes running across the country, and he was like, "Well, I went this far, I might as well keep going." And then I went this far, and I might as well keep going.
Have you watched Fahrenheit 11.9? Not 9/11, 11.9.
No.
So Michael Moore, and it's the how basically why Trump became president, and I love basically we have Gwen Stefani to blame.
What?
Because and I love this theory. So Trump was pissed that Gwen Stefani was making twice as much money, being she was one of the hosts on one of the judges on The Apprentice or on The Voice. She was making twice as much money as he was for The Apprentice. So he decides he booked 3 press conferences, and you can go back and look. Like, he booked 3 press conferences where he decided where he said, "I'm going to announce a run for presidency just to prove how popular I am, so NBC gives me a raise."
Okay, that's retarded.
And enough people showed up at those rallies and stroked his ego and that he went, "Oh, well, shit, I might as well do this."
Wow.
So we literally have Gwen Stefani to blame.
Thank you, Gwen. We appreciate you. America thanks you. No, I mean, and once again, I don't want to get too heavy into politics, but I guess the whole point is there are parallels with the Kanye and the Trump where you'll say some stuff that is like what, and you like when you're surrounded by yes men, and there's no accountability.
How does that not end you? That's the part to me. Like the Billy Bush,
and that's the guru's point. We live in a different age now where things like that used to kill you in your career no longer do it.
Well, and that's because it is. Americans in general have the attention span of a goldfish.
That, and we are obsessed with celebrities more so than we used to be.
And like the cycle, that whole dude, and this is why the whole you were talking about Nike and Adidas and people get pissed off. Dude, I don't remember who I'm supposed to be mad at and not shopping with anymore. Because the list keeps changing and the list keeps growing, and then these people apologize so you can shop with them and that kind of stuff. But the cycle of outrage, people can be immensely pissed off about something today and won't remember it tomorrow. Why? Because there's something else to be immensely pissed off about, and we can't focus on that. I've had a few conversations with friends that are everybody's talking about Trump and how he's not handling this right and yada yada yada. Why isn't anybody talking about kids being sold into slavery or child sex trafficking and that kind of stuff? Why isn't that a bigger trending topic? Okay, focus. Yes, that is an absolutely horrible issue too, and nobody's debating that. And yes, there are resources going towards it, but let's solve one problem. You can't solve everything.
Right.
You can't solve and if you distract focus from people solving one problem, then then nothing gets done.
I agree. But I feel like, there's enough people in the world to tackle all the issues. You know what I'm saying? Like just because me and you don't tackle this issue doesn't mean that there isn't somebody else who could tackle it.
But the problem is that are there enough people that get engaged? So that's the problem is, there's 7.8 billion people in the world.
Right.
How many of them actually do shit? Because I see a lot of slacktivism. That was me. I see a lot of, I changed my profile picture. I'm helping. I see a lot of that.
Oh, yeah,
what are you actually doing?
Well, because nowadays it's all about looking like you're doing something more so than actually doing something.
It's slacktivism.
Yeah. But once again, circling back to Kanye, I just, like I said, I do think there does reach a point where people get tired of the nonsense. People will forgive you up to a certain point.
But he's been nonsense. Well, the beginning of his career, what he was saying was nonsense to Caucasian people. Now what he's saying is nonsense to black people. So he's been saying...
Because there's a difference between saying George Bush doesn't care about white people. Black people, because his actions dictate that. You know what I'm saying? You left Katrina, you left them there hanging, so there's no reason for me to believe that you did care about black people. Now, to white people, anytime we bring up equality, racism and stuff, they're going to roll their eyes at it for the most part. But when you start saying stuff like, Sojourner Truth ain't really free the slaves, homie, bruh.
Yeah, that pisses us off, but they don't care about it. So my thing is, and I looked at people in line like, dog, you buying Yeezys, you don't care? yeah, he fooling, but these hard or these comfortable. Well, and I hear people ask this like when I was working these releases, I'm like, and that was
So you
the
don't think
reason.
at any point people are going to be
People
enough people are going to be like, all right,
tired of the shoe for the shoe before they be tired of Kanye as the person.
that's going to be interesting to watch.
I would say that because he's done enough for you to stop buying his shoes.
Nah, duh. We agree. We agree on that.
So that's what I'm saying. But they have it because they so in love with the product.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying is that
It'll be interesting to watch. It'll be interesting to watch. I'm just saying you do yourself no favors by saying some of the dumb stuff he says.
and I've been wanting to buy some. I'm like, oh dang, like okay, it was like, man, I even like had some rationale, like, dang, if I forgave Nike, if I did grab these Adidas after what they did, you know what, I can give them another shot. You know what I'm saying? Then he was doing what he was doing. Then the Sojourner Truth. It was like one time I was leaning, and he said the Sojourner Truth. I'm like,
I will say this about Kanye, and this is just in general about anybody, right? People make mistakes. People make mistakes all the time. They say bad things or they do bad things. I don't believe. First of all, I'm not a believer in canceling anybody.
I would if he.
God knows I'm not perfect.
Right.
And for the love of God, do not judge me by shit I said 25 years ago.
Man, that's for anybody.
That's.
But
yeah.
we got, because I'm not a big advocate of canceling people. I do believe that you can vote with your wallet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't like something, you can say, okay, I'm not riding with this, so therefore I'm not going to buy into it. However, I'm not so much about writing people off because of the mistakes. It's all about what you do afterward. Like, you know, it's how you remedy that mistake.
But you never know the true sincerity of it because everything is. Such
No,
business.
I agree. But it starts with the acknowledgement. That's where all apologies start.
But it's almost
with.
like you catch somebody, you in a relationship, you catch your girl and you catch your man in something.
I feel
like you're sorry that you saying you're sorry because you got caught and now what you've been doing revealed. But are you?
You
sorry
can make that
'cause of
argument.
the act?
You can make that argument.
You'll never know which sorry it is.
But that's why you judge the people by their actions.
But you have.
Oh, it's almost always sorry you got caught.
Yeah,
no, I mean,
it's you can and the makeup process will be flawless, and they're like, okay, I really. But my thing is, you'll never know the true intentions of somebody's apology.
I mean, it's levels to it, right? Like some crimes are worse than others, right? That's why there's different sentences. All I'm saying is that people make mistakes. And so it's not so much about the mistake, it's about how you handle the mistake, how you acknowledge the mistake, how you move on from the mistake. That to me is the true judge of people. And so I'm not big on, like, even with Kanye, and I really wish we didn't spend so much time on him, but like,
I mean, he has shoes, so it's
no,
really,
it's fine. But I mean, the point is that, you know, even with him saying some of the wild stuff he says, I'm not writing him off because, you know, like you said, like, I do believe he has some mental health issues. And so,
and believe it or not, he's had a nice contribution to the sneaker game.
With that notwithstanding, I'm just saying I don't put it all on. I do think he has some issues. I put more of the blame on the people around him because they are enabling him. Because that's the problem with celebrity too, is when people know they can make money off of you, they will enable you. You know, you look at R. Kelly. Like, there are a lot of people who co-sign the stuff he was doing because they can make money off of him. And I'm not saying Kanye is R. Kelly, but, you know, when you are a celebrity and people can make money off of you.
Well, in the words of Rick Ross, I watched this whole debacle, so I'm plotting the plan. We all are, because after that tape came out, we all listened to R. Kelly music. It took for that documentary for it to kind of pause it. I was still blasting Best of Both Worlds after I saw that tape in high school, and TP2.com and Chocolate Factory. So we were all to blame because we all in there because he didn't really feel it.
And it's so hard nowadays and that goes to the point of separating the man from the product.
Yes. So
because when you talk about R. Kelly, I mean, musically, like, he's untouchable.
Yeah, R&B wise. I would love to see him in the versus battle.
I don't understand how people do that. I don't understand how people can separate the artist from the art. To me, they're so intertwined. And the funny thing to me is, like, if that's true, then why do people get pissed off at?
Because I think a lot of artists,
like actors at the Oscars, shooting their mouth off.
I think because a lot of
it depends on your level of, like, artistry. Like R. Kelly, like, when you just brought up verses, I was talking to somebody just the other week, like, he's smoking whoever he goes up against.
Yes.
Like, no, like, it's not even close.
But
do you even give him access to that platform because of who he is?
I doubt it.
No, we talking about if that never happened. If a girl situation never happened.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. We talking about if that never happened.
Yeah.
If that never happened. But I was just saying, like, we try to because the artists make it so much of their business. Rappers and singers saying Joe Budden had a line, "You bought the music, not the dude that came with it." So the artists make it their business for you to detach them from the art. You know what I'm saying? But I think, it's just hard, and that's it.
It is hard. I mean,
it's hard because I be wanting to go back and listen to
It is
music,
hard,
man.
because I do find myself like, same thing. Because I mean, he'll just because I got my thing on shuffle.
I got the
and he'll come
MP3s.
on.
I'm not gonna delete them. Like I already got them.
But it's funny though, because like it'll come on, and then like I start bobbing my head until like the thought comes in my head, like, oh man, he did this stuff.
And
it's hard.
Really hurts me, the song that really hurts me, man, is the Puffy featuring him that Satisfy You. Man, because Puffy was on there going, man. Any woman willing to use that?
Him and his ghostwriters. No,
man, yeah, for sure. We know he got that, but I'm just like, I can't approach you with the cars and the wealth because any woman who willing to drive can get it herself. Like, that was just so hurtful.
All I was saying, well, yeah, I don't even know how you got on R. Kelly, but R. Kelly, and that, I mean,
They both from
separating.
Chicago.
Yes, they, it is hard separating the product from the person because they have become intertwined. Because part of selling that product is selling yourself.
I'll be the first to admit it. I've done it with Michael Jordan because I didn't like his lack of contribution to the black culture and him standing up for certain things. But I always bought the product because of what it meant to me, and it was part of my black culture.
Mm-hmm.
So even when you take away Jordan, Martin made me love Jordans. Watching Will Smith made me watch Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Cincinnati Bearcats, them balling Jordans because they was the first Black Carolina. We want to keep it a buck.
Right.
Like, those would make me fall in Jordans. Robert Triller is the reason why, rest in peace to him, when he was at Michigan. He's the reason why I love Flint 13s, seeing him hooping. And so it was other things that made me love the Jordans outside of that.
But for the most part, Jordan made people love Jordan. Not why that you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but so that's why I was just my example.
But see,
of
but
me
that
separating
goes
the man
back
to the product.
That goes back. I mean, and that was an era. This is before social media too, where people didn't really speak on things. They just stuck to pushing the product. And like you look at Michael Jordan, he stayed away from a lot of controversial topics outside of his realm because, look, I got to push these shoes. So, look, I'm just trying to sell these shoes, homie. I don't really have a political stance either way, yada, yada, because it was all about pushing that product because they were aware that while we are individuals and we're people, part of the allure of my shoe is me.
Yeah, and here's my thing, though. But at that particular time, who was 90% of his customer base?
Black.
So if you were standing up for black people, how could you fear of losing your product?
Because he was what's that famous quote he said? Republicans buy shoes too.
Here's my thing, but they're not putting you on your feet.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, Colin Kaepernick was the example. Now today, if he said that today, because he would be in similar position.
But going back to your point, he said it, and it had no impact on us. So like, there was nothing to change his mind.
I'm just saying, like,
I think had he said that, and then people stopped buying the shoes, then you would have seen Michael Jordan change his position.
I'm talking about if he would have said that comment in present day.
Oh yeah, that's my point.
Yeah.
It would have had more of an impact because
that's what I'm saying. But back then,
yeah.
if you were standing up for us, wouldn't have cost you your business. I felt like it was a weak cop out because that was back when we were heavy on keeping Nike lights on, everybody lights on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's not forget who helped you push that first 100 million.
And but that goes to my point of, and I think it goes to your point too, where I think we're kind of saying the same thing. I guess I'm just saying that you don't ever want to put yourself in a position where you test people's patience. I don't want to have to test people's patience. Like, I don't want to put you in a position where you have to make that decision between me or my product.
I was just saying at that particular time, he didn't have to.
No, I'm just saying in general. I'm just saying in general as an endorser, right? I don't want
you never should.
Yeah, I don't want my foolishness.
You should always be an enhancement.
Exactly.
Not
I don't want to be a
detraction.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, dude, what's like, okay, Donald Trump comes out and endorses a product. I ain't buying it.
No, I'm good.
But there are people who will buy it just because he said, dude, the stupid Trumpy bear. Have you seen those things?
No.
Apparently they're on Comedy Central at like 3:00 in the morning when like you get home drunk, and you're trying to watch South Park or whatever else, and there's a teddy bear that's like dressed up like Donald Trump, and they're like $60.
Who's buying
and I
it?
can't tell you. There's been at least a few of my friends who have said, I have no idea what drunk me was doing, but this just showed up at my house today.
That's done to me.
But you never know.
Anyway, I do want to touch on this, the Nike Airship. the banned ones, are finally releasing. Except they're releasing in one spot in Europe somewhere. And this is, I mean, I'm trying not to, because I feel like we just kind of went on like a tangent just now with Kanye, so I'm trying not to go on the tangent about this, but it's so hard because it's like Jordan Brand.
I don't want to hear that, C's. Europeans buy sneakers too? I don't want to hear that.
Huh?
Europeans buy sneakers too?
No.
So I don't want to hear that. I want to hear no.
I'm just like annoyed because it's like we've been asking for this shoe for a holiday. Jordan Brand, Jordan Brand is obviously a big brand like Nike. And for all the right moves they make, it's moves like this where it's like you do not deserve your spot, man. I swear to God, like why would you come out with a shoe?
So there's a good related topic for you though.
What's that?
So all of the controversy that swirled around Jordan when he retired, and the stuff about his dad getting killed, and was it because of gambling debts? And so there was that whole thing that like I don't know that people today know.
Oh, they know it now.
Find me a 22-year-old wearing Jordans and ask them if they know about it.
About his dad?
The Last
Dance
documentary, he touched on that.
Yeah.
Like, he really dug into it. So
Yeah.
and he kind of left you like, well, it kind of like, okay, did you really?
I feel like it answered more questions for me. Because, I mean, there was that cloud over him. Like, you know, was it because of your gambling?
See,
Was it
that's
because
on
of
my
this?
to-watch list. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
What?
So
You like the one person in
Yeah,
America.
he talked about it on there.
I mean,
surprisingly.
I had to watch the Umbrella Academy.
Surprisingly, yeah, he talked about it on there.
Unbelievable.
And you kind of looked at like the NBA. They didn't really do no investigation. They're like, would you?
Hell no.
And then
Why?
David Stern said it like, yeah, we just asked them. Like you didn't even really look into this.
But here's my
situation.
thing,
Why would
though.
you? Dude, if you're the NBA and that's Jordan, why would you?
But I do feel like, that was unfair, though, on to some level. Because it's like, people always make conclusions. People make these correlations. They connect dots that aren't there all the time. And I do think, if my father just died and like, man, it's because C's, didn't pay for his food when he went to that, restaurant.
Right.
And they were mad and they went and found his father. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh.
And
like,
then you were golfing come to find out with a loan shark that you didn't know, but you still willingly testified against him. Like it was like he talked about it, all of that.
He didn't testify against them, though. I mean, all he did was testify.
Now I'm gonna have to go home tonight.
He didn't testify against them.
I finished the Umbrella Academy, so now I'll go home tonight.
Like, was that the dude that was golfing with y'all that you had paid the money to?
Yeah, I mean, what he's supposed to say? No, they got to check.
Here's my thing. Though.
they got the evidence. First of all, if they ask you the question, they already have the evidence, man.
Not all the time, because first 40
no,
days.
a prosecuting attorney does not ever ask you a question.
Yes,
they don't already know the answer to.
So,
hold on.
no,
thank
I'm
you.
talking about the police. I'm talking
Not the
court.
but the police were the ones that questioned them. This was all stuff that would happen in court. They had the $50,000 check signed. I'm like, dog, like, what are you supposed to lie? They got the check right there. Signed out to the guy.
Exactly. So what did you need him to go in court if you already knew that Jordan knew who he was?
Because you need it on the record.
Thank you.
That's what I'm saying. He did. That was not in that guy's favor, right?
No, it
So that's what I
mean.
mean.
Whoa, time out. Why would it not be in his favor? I mean, because at that point, it's just, did Michael Jordan sign his check to you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because Michael Jordan didn't talk about his dealings. He just talked about them gambling on the golf course.
If you got shot by somebody
And that's not why the guy
and told them that was the guy that shot you, they would say you testified.
But that's not what he said. He said, I signed that check to that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't testify, but the testimony had nothing to do with, because what he was in jail for, or what he was going to court for, was other illegal stuff. It had nothing to do with the gambling and all that other stuff. Why they brought Michael Jordan there, honestly, I don't know, other than having a celebrity there and to woo the jury. But
exactly.
Because you look at his testimony, it had nothing to do with the actual trial. Like, it had nothing to do with what he was there for. Other than, that's a whole different subject. But the whole point of what I was trying to say was, going back to the airship, and shout out to MGL 23 Dan. Been pushing for this shoe for how many years? At least 4 or 5. Right? Pushing for the shoe. Even when we went there, did we not ask them? Ask them, yo, like, what's up with the airships? And when we went there, was not the airships on the shelf with the ones? So they was aware of the history and the connection and whatnot. So to know that they know that we wanted this shoe, and to see them play these games where they just go out their way to not give us what we want. Like, why would you take that particular shoe? Why would you take that particular shoe and say, okay, we're gonna give it to y'all if you live in this particular area in Europe at this one store? Now, if Jordan Brand, if the rollout plan is to release it at this one store and then later release it as a general release, okay, fine, I'll take back everything I'm saying. But as of right now, the only plans for this shoe to release is at this one store in Europe, and they're not and the store even come out and said we're not shipping outside of Europe. So unless you got a Europe Connect or European Connect, or you live there yourself, you're not getting this shoe. And I just think it's bullshit, especially considering how they released the pack earlier this year was only in Chicago. Why would you like? Some of this stuff absolutely makes no sense, man. And I think when we talked to them, they were a little hesitant because they wasn't sure as to what the response would be. Because everybody, it costs you nothing to like a picture, right? Or to leave a comment, right? But to actually spend your money on a shoe, I think that's what they were hesitant on because they weren't sure how many people would actually buy the shoe.
Drop shoes that nobody buys all the time.
That's my point.
So my thing is, even and the two no one bought the 11s. They went to clearance the first time. Did that stop you from retroing in 2001? You were a little hesitant, but you still went ahead with it. So my thing is, nah, man. I don't know why you get so frustrated with them because they've shown you who they were time and time again.
Because it's like that particular shoe. Because I think for people like me and you, and the MGL 23 Dan, right? Actual collectors, actual sneakerheads who love sneakers for those reasons, that to get your hands on a shoe like that just holds so much history, so much hidden history, and to not be able, like, it's one thing to like, okay, like it's a quick strike or it's a raffle when you go in knowing that there's a chance you don't get them or whatnot, but at least there's a chance. You know what I'm saying? Not a high chance, but still a chance. Like, this is absolutely zero chance you're getting this shoe. If you're me or you.
If you come tired of the resale market, I would flood because the resellers aren't going to sell it below retail, which means they take a loss. And even with you flooding it going on sale, you still taking money out of their pockets, which is a win. So my thing is, if you so tired, I'm saying they act like they do because they bring it up, and you know what I'm saying. It bothers them to a certain degree. It's like they love it when it comes to Travis Scott stuff, but they hate it when it comes to general releases and the resales high on it because they thought they beat them to the punch and they did it. So my thing is, when you dance with them over there, it comes at a price.
Yeah.
And when you could completely avoid it, but my thing is to them, I will flood them out so bad, even if it took 2 or 3 years of some shoes going on sale, because the shoes going on sale anyway.
Yeah.
If to the point where this market is reselling is probably less than 15% of the market share.
All right.
Then now I got all the money I've been missing out on. I can fully grasp, and then not only that, people are now forced to look at the other stuff on the
But
shelf.
see, that's always been my frustration with Jordan Brand because they smart enough to know that. Having conversations with them, they're smart enough to know that. They fall into this whole thing because what social media says we fell off because we didn't sell out in one day. So the fuck what? Like, dog.
You got to where you are today by not selling out on shoes.
Dog.
Jordan
the Jordan 1s with the outlets.
So didn't sell
when they first started retroing them, they went on the sales rack. Like, bruh, but because they fall into this social media narrative where if a shoe doesn't sell out within an hour in one day, that shoe ain't hot.
You listening to people who buy their shoes off a secondary market, not even from you directly. So why does their opinion even freaking matter?
You got people doing YouTube videos, or these still sitting in stores like ducks. So the hell, that's good for us because now we still have access to sell shoes.
Now I'm not paying your prices for them.
Thank you. Thank you. But Jordan Brand, because it's all about narrative, right? When people are saying Yeezy jumped over the Jumpman. Now, financially and analytically, there was nothing to substantiate that claim. But because Yeezy's got more likes on Instagram, that was a problem.
Okay.
Likes don't equate. They don't equate to actual dollar signs.
That whole I'm an influencer thing.
I hate that shit.
Here's why it doesn't matter to me.
Why? Because you're
no, dude. So because we've talked about this story a few times now. There was this girl had 1.5 million followers on Instagram.
They couldn't sell 20 T-shirts.
Couldn't sell 20 T-shirts.
Yeah.
Tried to launch a clothing line. Couldn't get 20 people to buy a $20 T-shirt.
And that tells you the fallacy.
So what the hell are you influencing?
Nothing.
Not a damn thing.
People put too much stock in followers. First of all, you having a following, yes, it might have a lot to do with you and your content.
Hey, you know what? I like Donald Trump's page. Not because I like him, but because I want to keep my eye on his ass and see what he posts.
But my point is that sometimes people have followings not just because
For not good reasons.
yeah, because they're able to manipulate the analytics of a particular platform.
Or you a crazy, I want to see what you do next.
Yes.
Or, hey,
You're entertaining. That's all
nice
it is.
rack.
Exactly.
I'll follow. Yeah, just because somebody
Yeah, how
wants
many
to
Instagram models got like 1 million followers?
Yeah, just because I want to
they
see
got
you in a
fat
bikini
ass.
doesn't mean I give a shit what you say.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's not like you did anything worthwhile. It's just, and like I said, likes don't equate to dollar signs all the time. Case in point, like you just brought up that young lady who couldn't sell 20 T-shirts. And so the brands, I think, to a certain degree, are starting to realize that, that, just because you got a following doesn't mean that you actually have a following.
Right.
People are going to follow you off that cliff. But, in relation to Jordan Brand, they still fall into that trap sometimes of, well, people are saying this on social media. Okay, but you still, so you made 250,000 pairs of this shoe, 200,000 of them sold, but because still 50,000 of them still sitting in the stores and somebody did a YouTube vlog on it.
People said the Union 4s were trash, but y'all still gonna put them out.
Yep.
So I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear about no ugly shit. The Master 12, not them with them black and gold 12s with the white bottom. Those were not the hottest, but y'all still put them out.
Yep.
People did dog shoes before, and y'all still put them out.
So I just, it's frustrating for me, like I said, like with a particular shoe like that. Like I think with the Airship, I find myself more annoyed than usual because of the relevance of that shoe. Like we ain't just talking about some colorway, like the shoe period. Like that silhouette itself hasn't come out outside of the pack that they came out with earlier in February. And people were frustrated then, like, the way they handled that. And you would think that they would take that feedback and be like, okay, well, let's not fuck it up with this one. Especially with this one, because this is the real band one, right? Or this is the real band Air Jordan. And for you guys to do such a horrible job of storytelling and then not allow us to participate in that storytelling is just.
And told the people that the other one was the one that was banned.
Yeah.
And told the people in the 2016 that those Space Jams, those
I will say this,
were Space Jams.
I would feel a little bit better if like MJL 23 they ain't got a pair because like he was like the main one pushing that. So if he got a pair, I would feel a little bit better because I'm like, okay, at least they acknowledging the people that made this happen, made it possible. But if the person that made you or forced your hand to drop these shoes don't even get a pair, it's really hard for me to take you serious after that. And I'm already starting to fall out of love with Jordan Brand anyway. Like, I buy. You see what I'm buying now? I'm buying more LeBrons and I'm buying more Air Maxes and all the other stuff.
Ben told you to come over to the other side.
I've been doing that. Listen.
So you tired of people not standing up for your equal rights? You tired of these shoe brands talking about Republic? Come to Clutch Sports.
Dancing on the video.
It's like,
Suge Knight Source of Horrors moment.
Yeah,
I mean, I've always been a big fan. Here's the problem. I wear a size 15, so it's hard. A lot of times, you'll go after a certain shoe and they either sell out real quick because they ain't make that many pairs of it or they just didn't make your size at all. So, I'm kind of stuck to a certain degree buying like certain shoes. I remember I had to meet with Saucony one time and it was like, all you got is Jordans. I mean, y'all don't make my size. So it's like, I can't buy what you don't make. You make a size 15, I'll rock them. Until then, I'm forced to buy other brands that do. So, I don't know what you want me to do about it. But, with this whole band Airship, I do hope that this is just part one of the rollout and that there's going to be a part two. Because if it's not, man, that just tells you that whoever's making the decisions there has no clue what they're doing. And Jordan Brand, to me, is an example of being more lucky than good in terms of decision making, right? Like, obviously the product, signature Jordans are always going to be high because of who the player was. But as far as decision making, a lot of decisions y'all make are like highly questionable, but because the product is so hot that you get away with it. It's almost like, remember back when
I got the perfect one for you. Remember Batman, the one with Bang?
Yeah.
When he was whooping on him, he was like, "Your winning has defeated you. you've won for so long. When you losing, you don't even know that you're losing.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens with
That's
Jordan
exactly
Brand.
what it is. I was gonna say, Jordan Brand is kind of reminds me of like the 2000 to 2002 Lakers,
Mhm.
where you got all this dysfunction, but because you're so good and you're winning, you know the dysfunction doesn't matter as much. But then once you start losing, now the dysfunction becomes headline news. And I think that's what Jordan Brand is. It's like when you're winning for so long, you know, it's easy to ignore the dysfunction because
And now
you've
there's
gotten away with it.
There's a lot more options now.
With a lot more options.
A lot more options.
And so, you know, doing shit like this now, you know, to the casual fan, they might not care because, you know, there'll be another hype shoe for them to jump on. All it takes is one Supreme release and they'll get over it. But for people like me or you, I think it's just like, man, like, and I wish brands would get back to storytelling. And this goes back to the discussion I think we had on the last show about collabs, about how, you know, I hope that that wave is starting to die off because just giving any brand a collab just because they got a following is kind of whack. I think the beauty about collabs, at least the older ones, what made collabs unique is there was a story to be told. Collabs were a way to tell a story, more so than a normal release. And so now we're just giving people collabs and just calling, you know, and then shoehorning some story behind it, and you know people can see through that bullshit. And so like you look at perfect example, the Union 4s. I don't know what the story is behind those, and honestly, at this point, I don't care.
They show
The
the
shoes are so
tongue
trash.
actually folds back up. It doesn't look as bad with the tongue.
The tongue.
regular.
Listen, first of all, the tongue was not the only issue I had with that shoe. So they could make the tongue look as pretty as they
The
want
tongue,
to. The
the
rest
tongue
of the
is
shoe's
normal
still a problem.
though. Like it folds out to normal. Like it takes off as just a black tongue. Which I'm
Okay.
like, okay, that's decent.
But
It's
that,
still
but the
not
tongue. That's on point though. Like it's almost like I can't even think of an analogy. But the point is, it wasn't like it was just the tongue. I had a problem with the whole shoe.
The biggest problem was the tongue to me.
That was not the biggest problem for me.
Mhm,
The
biggest
the shoe itself was the biggest problem.
The tongue was the biggest issue.
I was like, yo, pick your poison. Like every part of that shoe, I hated. Every single part. I did not like any of it. So you could change the tongue and dial it up as much as you want to. You still got the rest of the shoe to deal with, for me. So, you know, whether the tongue sticks up or doesn't, like that's not a selling. That's not going to be anything that sways me. But we all know what's going to happen. People are going to shit on it, and then once it comes out, they're going to go crazy over it. So, you know, I don't even know why we even. Somebody just asked me on Instagram, childish weirdo, if you had to choose between these and the Dover Street Market 8s, what would you pick?
The Dover Street literally now you even push them as Dover Street Market 8s.
What would it? I don't know.
Those are the ones with the clear rainbow straps, white and black.
Oh,
I'll take the 8s.
man, can I just get shot?
I'll take
Like,
the 8s.
I was like asking if I want to get shot or stabbed. Like
I'll take the 8s.
just shoot me, get it over with.
I'll take the 8s. The 8s are on sale for like $114.
Man, can I just go barefoot? Do I have to pick a shoe?
I'll take the 8s.
Oh, man, that is a horrible decision. I pray that nobody has to make that decision. That is I hated that shoe. I hate it. I'm pulling up the picture right now. I could.
But they on the Nike website was never called the Dover Street 8s though. That's the crazy thing about it.
What were they called?
I don't know, but it was just like if it's a Dover Street 8s, push it. Don't push it. It's almost like at the last minute they just pushed it as a normal Jordan 8.
I don't even. It's just hard for me. I wish I could sit in on a board meeting when they go. Be funny. I wish I could sit in on a board meeting where they go over what shoes they are or are not going to release, and they vote or however whatever the process is for a shoe to come out. I wish I sat on that panel because I just to hear, not even to say anything, just to hear the responses from other people. And I don't know if it's just
it's the boardroom talk.
That's what it, see.
We have this conversation every time. I just want it like the mashed potato machine. You heard about the mashed potato machine?
No.
So this is a machine that they're about to put in 7-Eleven that dispenses mashed potatoes
What? Why?
and gravy.
Why?
I want to be in that boardroom. Guys, you know what we need? Mashed potato machine.
What?
And everyone around that table going, yeah, mashed potato machine.
Well, maybe the mashed potato people are sitting on a Jordan brand team because it's hard for me to, like I said, I just want to sit around and just hear the rationale and reasoning. And I don't know if it's just a bunch of yes men who are just accustomed to just nodding their heads and just not rocking the boat. But it'd be very hard for me to see this shoe and be like, yeah, like, we got to come out with that. That's hot. Like, I'd be like, nah, I ain't feeling it.
Have you ever seen the 1985 movie Head Office?
I was born in 84.
You can find the whole movie on YouTube for free.
What?
It's called Head Office.
That's how you know it's bad, when it's on YouTube.
No. It's how you know it's underrated. Like this. So this movie literally shaped how I expected business and politics to work when I grew up, and has yet to disappoint me. And it's got like Judge Reinhold, Danny DeVito, Jane Seymour, the Father Guido Sarducci guy. It's got a cast to it. Like it's Rick Moranis. It's got everybody in it.
I guarantee you everybody hearing this are like, who? What? Who?
Okay, the guy from Ghostbusters, the guy from Taxi, the guy. Who? Yeah, but dude, because the whole movie is centered around corporate life, yes men, and basically, do whatever to get your way to the top, to get your seat at the table, and then doing anything you have to do in order to keep that seat at the table.
Maybe that's what's going on at Jordan Brand. Because honestly, I look at some of these releases like these Dover Street 8s. I look at the Union 4s, and I'm just like, who co-signed this? Who signed off in this trash? Like, honestly. And the whole thing of it is, I used to think that they would leak pictures just to gauge reactions.
The same thing like this, though, right? When we had our little, sneaker by us, the sneaker lab collaboration, right?
Yeah.
They could not like that shoe, but they was like, since this was the agreement to let you do what you do, then so be it. Because any backlash or anything, it's going to come by on you, though.
But that's true. But at the same time, that was a pre-order too, so it wasn't like they was putting anything up front.
Who? I mean, tomorrow for the pre-order, but
For the collection we did.
Yeah, but I'm saying they this is not going to sell, or not even for minus the product and materials.
Mm-hmm.
If the shoe collection didn't do well, it would have been a waste of time.
Well, yeah, I mean, but at that time too, it was still in the incubator phase. So there wasn't too much to lose.
They could have been like, that's
because it wasn't like they were staking their reputation on our collection. It wasn't like they were staking their reputation on our collection.
No, that Jordan 4 is still going to sell well with the Union.
Oh yeah, I know, I agree with that. I'm just saying, as far as Jordan Brand, like this is high profile. Like this isn't like some unknown group of people doing essentially a Nike ID and calling it a collection.
Most of it is Nike ID. You just got more options. You just have more options. All the Nike ID just gave you a kind of a whiff of what it is to be a collaboration without getting the marketing and the clues and all that behind it.
These Dover Street 8s, honestly, I need to stop looking at this shoe because it's pissing me off.
That shoe's better than that for Union 4. But I'd be the type of person, if I hit the Union 4,
barely, man. I feel like
if I probably hit it. If I hit the Union 4, I'll probably keep it.
Oh boy, I don't even want to talk to you no more.
I'll probably keep it.
I don't even want to talk to you no more. What do you think about these? What are these? Biohack ones. These are trash too.
I thought they were all right. I don't mind getting a pair.
Me.
I got some outfits in mind for that.
You disappoint me. Oh, I thought about the penny. I keep wanting to say the penny. The Pippin 2s when I seen these. What is these DMSX waffle models? That midsole.
Oh yeah.
They got that
I found a
Pippin
pair
2 midsole.
I think I found a pair.
I don't like this colorway though. It's not bad.
I want to find the black and white ones. If you want the Last Dance, you should have dropped them during the Last Dance.
Yeah,
like,
you would have thought.
Man, you so much stuff you could have dropped.
You would have thought you could have dropped the Dennis Rodman Converse joints.
You could have dropped all that.
Y'all could have milked it. We need to work for Nike because this goes back to the decision making.
Milked it.
If you ask sneaker people, they'd have been on top of that. Like, yo, the Last Dance coming out. We got all these shoes we can drop off of these 3 players. But whatever.
Could have dropped some Gary Paytons in that episode.
Bruh.
Man, you could have dropped so much stuff.
Man.
You could have dropped the Chicago's during a commercial break after you talked about hooping in Chicago. Like, it was just so much. And you knew he would have gave you the footage before it was released.
Dropped the ball.
And he was, they had that was, 2016 after the LeBron parade. He was like, we should do it. So you had a good year and a half, 2 years to get this done.
Yeah, Nike knew. I mean, they sponsored it.
You had.
Like, they knew it was coming.
You could have did that.
Nice planning.
So.
What do you think about these 96?
You could have dropped some youth.
These R-Star foam posits.
Oh, my goodness. Like Lions. Like customs.
They do. Bad customs at that.
Why would you make a 96 foam posit when he didn't even wear this shoe? He wore the Penny 1. He wore the penny one. Why?
I always hate a shoe when the best part of the shoe is the insole.
Why?
Like I always hate a shoe because it's like
and then people think this is shoe his All-Star game in '96. Like, no. Then I have to go to people at work and like, no, he didn't wear this shoe in '96. He wore this shoe. They just making this to sell you on it. That's because they there's a lot of naive people in the sneaker community, and they can try to push anything over on them.
I just Nike, if you're listening, which I know you are,
But
just stop making phones. Just stop.
My phone posit is one shoe that every 5 years you can retro it in its normal colors.
Honestly,
that's
just
the
do
only
that.
thing you got to do.
Just do that, man, because I don't trust y'all no more. I do not trust y'all make good color. For whatever reason with the phone posit, unless it's an OG colorway, you're right. They do such a shit job.
Some shoe, but it's not even that. It's just that this shoe is just, you leave it like this. You know what I'm saying? You just leave it like this. Like, you don't bring the Corvette out and make it a 6-cylinder. No, you got to leave it as a Stingray. You got to leave it as a Z21 or Z06. Like, you can't just bring it like that. That's terrible.
They basically took a Corvette and made a sedan out of it. Like, honestly, it infuriates me. As a fan of the phone posit.
Oh, they got some thermal maps. No, it was like phone posits. Oh no, we gotta outdo the phone posits.
Oh boy, here we go. So that's what they call them.
And these too. Oh, these are like the fake Jordans from 05. They taking fake Jordans from 2005 people and putting them at retail.
Go back to those.
And y'all don't know no better.
Well, are they calling them the thermal?
Thermals. Yeah. Yep. And these is actually these black and royal 13s are the Quentin Richardson PEs. Yeah. Why don't they just release it with Quentin Richardson logo on the tongue? This is why this shoe was made.
They don't want to pay them.
But you still sending them shoes though, which you're paying for shipping.
I mean, but that's one pair of shoes.
They still sending him boatloads of shoes. Like,
I mean, yeah, it doesn't cost them to make no shoes.
It does cost them to make shoes.
Not like that. What costs more? Sending him a pair of shoes or
no? They're still sending him batches of shoes.
Yeah, batches of shoes.
But it still costs.
That's a tax write-off though. They get that money back. Actually, cutting that check.
Come on, they can pay that man for this shoe though. That's why I couldn't be breathing Jordan brand. Y'all can't even pay me for a shoe. That's why brands would rather. I mean, think about how they pay. That's why I don't buy Phone Posit Pros. That's why I don't buy Phone Posit Pros, because pay Penny, because he made them hot.
But my whole thing is, this is why they give influencer shoes instead of cutting them a check. Because it's easier to give you the shoe, because we can write that off as a marketing thing. Yep. Yeah, thank you. That's all it is. So
I'm just saying, like, the influencers didn't make the Jordan 11.
No. But my point is, I'm just saying, in general, brands would rather give you product than cut you the check.
Oh yeah, of course, because
so that's what they're gonna do with Quentin.
They make money off of you as well.
Yeah, they're gonna do that with Quentin. We ain't gonna cut you no check for what? We're gonna give you some shoes though.
But that was his shoe though.
No, we agree. I'm just saying, Jordan Brand is not going to cut him a check.
But I'm just saying, you can't put him in the same boat as an influencer when he was a Jordan Brand athlete. But bring back some Derek Anderson PEs. Bring back the Derek Anderson PEs.
We're going to pay you like an influencer.
Who else? Bring out some Ray Allen 5, Seattle Supersonics.
You see, that's my point. You see, they actually
dropped Carmelo 5s that we were supposed to get, them orange ones, and them CP5s.
They actually dropped Ray Allen PEs and actually acknowledge Ray Allen. They ain't going to.
I mean, so that should definitely Derek Anderson. Let's keep it a buck. Derek Anderson made Jordan's low top before Jordan wore low tops.
Those threes. When they dropped those Derek Anderson threes, did they acknowledge him?
What Derek Anderson threes?
Those with the red heel counter. He was wearing those in Portland way back then.
Threes with red heel counter.
They look like the regular cement threes, except the heel counter on the midsole is where it's black on the white cement. It was red.
I don't know. I didn't look up. My phone died, but I had to look to remind me of that one but they should definitely thought he had the low top. He asked for all them Jordans on low top before Mike really had them. Like, so he wore the low top pattern levels before Mike.
Let me pull them up since you don't remember.
What kind of phone you got? iPhone.
Well, that's why.
Oh, thank you.
That's what you get for having an iPhone. Here goes the Jordan 3s.
My phone hasn't died in 3 days. Yours died in a day.
What?
Oh, those were Katrinas. I thought those were Katrinas.
Ask Jordan Brand.
Katrinas.
Ask Jordan Brand. They can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's what.
Derek
Anderson lost someone. You know who else lost some cold Jordan PEs? Mitch Richmond. Drop some Mitch Richmond's 14s, man.
Or Mike Bibby.
Mitch Richmond was one of the reasons why I wanted those oxidized 14s. Reggie Miller wore those black and indigo 14s.
Yeah.
Or you could drop them Ray Allen 15s. If y'all don't drop them Reggie Miller 15s, I'm gonna take some black ones and have somebody customize the yellow strip down the back.
Thoughts on these? So there's gonna be some Air Jordan 1s, Supreme that are inspired by the Dunks. I'm telling you, I'm moving to
That's
another
like
country.
when the
and
number runners and
I want no parts of that.
that's
shit.
when the number runners and like how can I put this? And MGM and Casino meets. Like that's when that shoe is.
That is a
the Jordan
horrible
1 people
concept.
for us
But that just
is-
tells you how lazy people or brands have gotten. It's like, all right, well, we could put some thought into it, or
But also
we
how
can
it's
we
not
can
even about
recycle.
lazy brands. They got accountability, but they make lazy crap because people buy lazy crap.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, if I had a product, I would take. I mean, I would like to think I had pride in my product. I wouldn't just rest on the fact that people
But the
just
game
buy my
ain't like
shit.
that no more.
I agree.
The game ain't like now. Back in the day, you had to take your time and write 3 cold verses. Now you can put 2 whack verses out.
You ain't
and
got to
go
put
forward.
verses together. Just as long as you got a catchy hook and a nice beat.
You go platinum. So
Yep.
why even put in all that work when you know it ain't gonna sell?
No, I will say these are hard though. These what are these? The China 7s. I love them. I love those. I love those.
No, man.
I love those. I love them.
Because they glow in the dark.
Ain't got shit to do with that.
Everything except the color blocking. They could have did
The
something
the
better
glow in the
with that.
dark part. That's just the cherry on top.
Yeah,
It's not the
glow in
Sunday.
They could have did something better with that color blocking.
It's the cherry on top. It's not the color blocking. I mean, it's not the Sunday, bro.
Yes.
The glow in the dark part. I mean, that's for kids. If it glows, it glows. If it doesn't, that's cool too. I like
Off-white 5s are better than them.
the who?
Off-white 5s?
No,
Yes.
no.
We can put a poll up. Put a poll
That's
up.
not even a fair
It
poll.
is, it is a fair poll.
How's it a fair poll?
It
You
is a fair
just got to making an argument throughout the
poll.
show about people just gonna buy into the hype, and all of a sudden we gonna make a poll.
We're talking about the shoe. We'll only take.
Yes,
We,
it's off-white.
To make it fair for you, we'll only count the comments from people who you respect.
I respect no one.
That's from the comments.
How about that?
We'll take the votes from the people that you
I respect
you
no
consider
one.
that you to consider that what's the name.
Jumpman, let's just make it. Let's just ask Jumpman. Fuck it, like just do that. Like, if it's gonna come down to respect, let's just ask Jumpman and call it a day. Literally, let's just. Matter of fact, Dave, you got a show after this?
Yeah.
Okay, damn it. I was gonna say I'll call Jumpman, but I didn't know that's gonna be like at least 20 minutes right there. No, we'll ask him on the next show. But I like the China 7s. I don't know when they're supposed to be coming out. Oh, real quick, the Bel Air 5s. I know the dates have changed on them. Like they went from like the 9th to the 15th. Now they're back to the 9th.
August 9th?
Yeah, which is a Sunday.
Couple days?
3 days.
Yeah. Oh, now it's at the 5th. God damn it. So now it says the 15th. Earlier today it's at the 9th. So you know what? I
All
don't
right, is that sneakers app supposed to have that anniversary drop? You heard about that? I saw that. That's the 3-year anniversary of the sneakers app. They're supposed to be re-releasing a whole bunch of shoes. August 8th. That's what I read.
I don't know. Stay tuned, I guess. Like I don't know. I can't call it.
Well, they can't say too much on this post that drop already.
I can't call it. I do want these adapts though. Those tie-dye adapts. I love them. That's probably my favorite colorway of the adapts. And you notice the price point went down to $350 again. They weren't moving at $400 like that.
That was on sale for $220 on the app.
They probably still gonna go on sale. Well, I don't know. This colorway seems to be more coveted than most, but
I thought about getting a pair of hoop in them.
let me know how that is. Like everything I wear is casual now.
Yeah, cool.
Everything, every shoe. I
You
got
supposed
is
to have that
style.
basketball game. No one knows what happened to that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
like 5 years ago.
No, yeah, man. You supposed to come out there, man. And it was MJ and Jumpman versus me and you. We should have took that. And I gave you half the year, Kawhi, to get back in basketball shape.
Hey,
Come on,
look,
man. You happy? I
I'm
was like,
busy.
get out there. I got to hear they mouth in the car. Your man see scared of us, huh? You
busy.
going to leave your mans out there? It wasn't no busy, man.
I'm
We was
busy,
on- we was on the same trip, on the same plane.
No, I'm just saying I'm busy. I'm talking about as far as getting,
Come on, bro.
making it happen. Like I'm busy, dog. I got things to do. Y'all act like people just be sitting at home waiting to play
Well, we
basketball.
say sitting at home, but come on, bro. 6 months is more than enough time to get. And
It
we
depends.
weren't about to run a half and half. We gonna run a half.
It depends
court.
on the schedule. It depends on the schedule, man. I'm telling you, I'm a busy man.
Whatever, man. Could have hoop, man. He could have hoop got the one game out the way. We got to hear that mouth forever.
No, we don't.
That's what we do. What they do?
I tune it out. I'm like, okay. I got Steamboat Mickey Mouse playing in my head as they talk. Like, like I'm not even listening. I just hear Mickey Mouse whistling. That's it. I don't hear it. And plus, I let y'all shit talk. I rather enjoy it.
You left your mans out there, man. It wasn't about you. It was about the team season. You left your mans out there high and dry.
Did I?
Yeah, you did, man. Because I had to hear they mom all in the car.
I gotta say though,
they
always
they technically won because you forfeited.
I ain't forfeit shit.
Yes, you did. You
it's it's TBD. Listen,
when you said you wasn't playing at all,
I didn't say that. I just said it's to be determined.
You just said it 30 seconds ago.
I said I was busy. It's a scheduling thing more so than anything.
How when you set the game?
Because I just said I'm busy. See, that's how you do it. No, in a lot of those situations though, I am very much entertained because Guru outside of, I mean, y'all hear it on the show. Guru talks so much shit, but outside of the show, he really talks so much shit.
Very modest.
So I love
outside
it when
I'm very
bullshit.
Modest,
so I love it. I love it
modest.
when somebody else has to argue with him, and especially when they give it to him, like when Jumpman did in Atlanta. That was so
one time.
Highlight of my life.
Finals.
Highlight of my life.
You ain't bring back my 3-1 doc and you came down 3-1. Y'all bring
Highlight of my life, man.
None of that, bro.
Highlight of my life is just sitting there and just watching you and Jumpman go back and forth. And you, for the very first time that I've known you, to have no words.
Because he was yelling. No, I wasn't. It was yelling. I was going to go first.
You said you was yelling.
Yeah, he was. I was like, I'm about to yell.
I wonder if he still has that video.
I do not like to yell. So, like, if you yelling, I'm just going to let you have
he
it.
wasn't yelling.
I love it. I'm just going to go for family members.
I hope he still has the video because I'll repost the shit out of that.
And also show them that fucking Fred Flintstone turkey leg you the refrigerator.
Wait, what turkey leg I have with it?
That was a dog. He was a chicken leg that was this big. I think it was on one of my.
I don't even like
vlogs.
turkey legs like that.
It was chicken leg. It was something that was huge, bro.
You talking about the burrito I had?
No, not the burrito. That was in San Francisco in Atlanta. You had a huge turkey. I think it was on one of my vlogs. I took it out the refrigerator, bro. I'm gonna show you.
Nah, pull it out because I don't even like turkey legs like that.
Chicken leg, bro. I don't know what it was.
I don't like chicken legs like that. I like chicken legs.
Rhinoceros leg or something.
See, that's how I know it's made up.
No, it's on the vlog. It's
pull
on
it
the
up,
vlog.
man. Pull the receipts.
Man.
Pull up the receipts. Until then, it's fake news.
Don't worry, I'm gonna post this tag everybody on the page on it.
Guru's fake news, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know he is the CNN of sneaker personalities. That's what you are. But no, it's just, man, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting watching how the industry moves forward in the next year or so. I can't call it, but I know I'm going after a whole bunch of.
It's on my camera. Ooh, you lucky. It's on my camera. I'm
Oh my
gonna look
God.
for it,
It
when I
doesn't
get home.
exist.
It's on my camera.
It doesn't exist.
It does. No, it does for real.
No, it doesn't.
How you think I made that Spades video?
We don't believe you. You need more people.
We got. Don't worry. We
No,
got
the
enough
Spades
people.
video was ridiculous. Now, that happened.
That's all that was on that camera. On that
Now,
memory card.
that's a true story.
That
I was
memory
just
card.
telling somebody about that story too. How frustrated I was.
That was on there. We put it on there forever to look at it forever.
Why is your
and
mask
ever,
on?
ever.
Nobody can hear you.
You can't hear me.
I just hate. I hate the. I think most of black people can relate to this. I don't know about white people, and I don't know how deep y'all get into y'all games. But spades, man, if you don't know how to play spades and you my partner, we're gonna have problems.
Spades I'm good with. I'm not from Michigan, so I don't understand the friggin' euchre obsession. Dude,
Yeah,
spades,
euchre. They love
spades,
euchre up here.
hearts, that kind of stuff. Dude, I'm all in.
I'm just saying, spades with black people, man. It's like, dog, if you don't know how to play that, man, we're gonna have problems. We might end up fighting. And I had the very first hand, my partner cuts me. First play of the game. It's like, man.
Nah, then he was reneging just to keep the game close.
Bruh.
Ah, my goodness.
There
He was
were-
underbidding, talking about he got 2 with a possible
I
3.
remember, I'll never forget that part. Guru and Jumpman were on teams, and me and this one guy was a team. Real quick before the show.
Randall. Shout out to Randall.
Yeah, shout out to
from
Randall.
West.
Rick Randall. But no, man. Okay, so Guru and Jumpman on the teams. Me and Rick are on the team. Guru and Jumpman go board. I look at my hand. I got 1 in the possible, right? So Rick obviously has a good hand. He goes, I got 2. Rick. Rick, are you sure? Yes. And I'll never forget, Sneaker Girl because she was watching this play. She goes over and looks at his hand, And she comes back to me. He has a bunch of those because she didn't know how to play spades. She's like, he has a bunch of those. And she points to spades. I looked at my hand. I put my head on the table like, bruh. We go on to get 11 books.
He was lying. I got on on my YouTube channel.
I put 6. I put 6 because I didn't know, I didn't want to do too much. So I said, let's go 6. We ended up getting 11 books. And I'm like, Rick.
And he was undercut.
And he was like,
undercut.
Dude had all spades. I don't think nobody else had a spade. And he was like, well, I wasn't sure they were low. Bruh, you got like every single spade. You cutting everything, bro.
I know how to count cards.
Man.
And then if I throw out a 3 of diamonds and Jumpman throw out like a king of diamonds and you throw out like a king of spades, if I'm your partner, I'm throwing out a trash card because you already won a hand.
Yes.
He come and throw an ace of spades.
I know. Yes.
On some hoes.
That was the first play. The first play of the game.
I call him Jigga Man. He throw the ace of spades.
The first play of the game, I threw out the ace of clubs. Jumpman threw out something. Rick threw out a 2 of spades. And I'm like, bruh. Oh, that was you? Homie. I already knew it was going to be a long game. But anyway, shout out to Rick Randall. What's that, Midwest?
Yeah, go to Guru Vision channel, man. You can see some of the footage of the spades game.
The worst spades game ever
was
played.
me. Shout out to T Ward, me and Bostic. We're walking down the street talking about it.
Oh, boy. That was not a pleasant weekend. But in any event, this is episode 263. Thank you guys. Like I said, if you got any topics you want to discuss or you got anything you want to respond to, leave us a voicemail message on our voicemail line, 248-677-1803. Until then, we'll see you guys next week. We out. We love y'all.
Peace.